Let's learn about the dark side of RuneScape.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming in sundown because today we're going to talk about RuneScape.
I need a RuneScape.
We all have specific games that hold a special place in our hearts, right? I mean, for me, it's basically just Magic the Gathering and League of Legends, and they both make me very sad. I don't know if I want to include this, but if you went back and looked at my search history of things I've said during League, yeah, it probably wouldn't be good. I guess that's special. I feel like I like the idea of games more than actually playing them. I like Silent Hill, but I don't really ever like actually playing Silent Hill. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense to people, but that's how I feel. But for many people, they spend their formative years playing one of the most popular MMOs of all time, RuneScape. This game has stood the test of time, evolving over the years to develop its own unique community and culture. And today, thousands of people still play the game consistently. It's one of the pioneers of the free-to-play MMORPG genre and has inspired many games that came after it. At a time where new games come and go like clockwork, it's fascinating to see how this relic can still be talked about frequently in the gaming space. And it's because of this that I want to take a deep look into the game and see why are people so obsessed with it. My first exposure over to RuneScape was I was in my friend's basement, very dirty, and his friend, I didn't have internet growing up, so I would get like little spurts of things, and this is one of the spurts of things where they were arguing over who would log into their account, and they were like kind of having a measuring contest on like armor, and I think one of my buddies had like dragon armor, which I think at the time was like, it was a pretty big deal. But then I was like looking at the game like, whoa, this is insane. I just like that I could right click somebody and then I could follow them, and then I could type stuff just like, you're gay, and it would pop, the little text bubble would pop up. I was like, that's about as far as I got. I had to kill the rats at the beginning, but that's about it.
I think
you
the
didn't
rats
kill the cows?
me.
I didn't understand there's a whole hierarchy of an ecosystem and a financial aspect with gold and trading and markets and stuff. Going into the market on a busy day was like having a panic attack. There were so many like text bubbles popping up. I could barely take it. It was too much for my fragile, tiny mind. Let's take a look at how this game came to be. Because in 1998, Andrew and Gower Paul, two brothers from the University of Cambridge, developed a browser-based MMORPG named Devious Mud, or Multi-User Dungeon. It was a bare-bones isometric game written in Java that would slowly morph into the game we know as RuneScape. RuneScape, now developed under the company name Jagex? Jagex? Jagex. Jagex. It's like a racial slur, doesn't it? Jagex was released in 2001 to an overwhelming response. They anticipated a player cap of 2,000 slots to be more than enough, and ended up struggling to find server space to fit all the players that would rush to register. They worked around the clock, updating the game to add new content and fix issues that would arise with the non-stop stream of new incoming players. And during the early 2000s .com bubble, many internet-based companies soared in value because of the belief that these internet companies would be the future. And they were right, to an extent. I'll put all my money in Enron. Well, eventually, the bubble burst, leading to the intense budget cuts that resulted in RuneScape's website ads being cut down dramatically. This, on top of rising server costs, meant RuneScape was on the verge of shutting down completely. To combat this, they eventually introduced paid memberships too, leading to a whopping 5,000 people joining within the first few days of its launch, a move that ended up saving them. The game would still be free.
I mean, I guess it's like, hey, we're going to be shutting down, but if you really want to keep playing the game, want to help support us, buy a membership.
But paid members got access to new exclusive future content. You think that they ever, like in those early days when it was like the Wild West, do you think they were ever like, you can f this game?
Oh yeah.
If you pay for it, you can have sex in this game.
I bet you like that's like what you'd hear at school. Yeah, you know, if you pay the $5 membership.
Good night, Trivia.
I paid $5 and I got a finger a dwarf.
I don't know. That wasn't the game.
I got to finger a lizard person with my dragon armor. The next big major update was in 2003 with the release of RuneScape 2, featuring a graphical overhaul and brand new mechanics that greatly enhanced this experience. RuneScape 3 released in 2013, along old school RuneScape, a separate version of the game that resembled the 2007 version of RuneScape 2. Are you following along? Hello? This was a time where the game seemed to be at its peak, as well as being the version with a combat system most players preferred. Old school RuneScape, or OSRS, is into the most popular version of the game today. So that's where we're at. That's if you didn't know what RuneScape was, and if you still don't know, I don't know, I'm supposed to tell you.
The newer ones are wrong. OSRS only.
Oh yeah. One of the most iconic things about RuneScape is undoubtedly the existence and mechanics behind the wilderness.
Look at those graphics.
I was scared of the wilderness.
Playing this and
I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I feel like honestly, that's what the charm of it is. That it's like an aesthetic choice. If it was all realistic, like Guild Wars,
No,
who still plays Guild Wars?
Give me the hard
Usually some
pixels.
asshole.
I want the sharp hair.
In RuneScape, there's a portion of the map dedicated to
Never been to the
unrestricted
wilderness. I didn't
PvP
either.
content between players. People who traverse this area to fight bosses and
I'd be
collect valuable
bullied.
drops can be obstructed by players, which is, meaning that players can come over and kill you. And, which can be incredibly
Yeah, I would be like, oh, no, I don't have anything you want. Just please leave me alone. And then they'll just not care and be like, you know what? I don't care. I just want to kill you for fun. Yeah, I want to kill you for fun. That was my worry, that people wouldn't care that I'm just chilling, minding my own business. I didn't want to die. Iron Man
frustrating
group
to many,
win.
as you lose most of your items upon
Maybe
death.
one day.
Yeah. Okay.
World of Warcraft
Any
don't
more
do that.
time.
World of Warcraft doesn't do that. Blizzard's too scared. While some think wilderness PvP is insufferable, others find
Hearthstone?
that
I never
this
played
constant
Hearthstone.
stress that this Wild West environment brings to the game is what
Hardcore Iron Man VTuber group? That would be difficult. I would die to a frog. I played the game, not saying I was good at the game.
makes it so unique and exciting. It's like Escape from Tarkov. It's like when I play, it matters. When I traverse the wilderness, it matters. Player killing or PKers are people who
Especially
seek out
PKing,
players
I
to
could
kill in the
not.
wilderness for items, money, or simply for sport. There's a whole community around the idea of
Be
PKing,
hunted.
with some people going to elaborate lengths to fool people into entering the wilderness only to be killed immediately. Those are sociopaths. If you're, even in a digital world, if you are going and making time to like lure someone in somewhere to kill them, that's like it's the same as basically being like, my
Lol.
son's killing cats. It's like a new age Jeffrey Dahmer. One man furiously
Awful.
explains how he had weeks of progress destroyed due to the constant abuse from gangs of PKers, which is exactly the kind of post PKers want to see. He is feeding them. PKers have become so infuriating to players that they would have to start searching for protection rackets, where high level players would be paid to follow them in game and protect them while they went around about their business. How cool is that though? That kind of turns, that's like a legitimate like fantasy
bodyguard.
story.
Yeah, like hiring like a Kingsguard or something. Yeah.
The Wilderness Guardians, one of the most well-informed
Hey, you're really, really strong. You have the best armor and weapons in the game. I just need to go get a couple of things in the wilderness. Can you protect me? Can you protect me while I get the flowers out of the wilderness, please? I don't even know what's in there.
influential clans in
Who's in
RuneScape
danger?
history was created specifically to combat this issue. They've even organized multiple
Mercenary
real-life
thieves,
meetings
yeah.
across the country. That's
You were
how
paid to be a personal
real this shit
blacksmith?
is,
That's
dude.
actually kind of cool.
It's like a literal white knight.
It's a literal White Knight expansion group inside of RuneScape to like defend honor and
That's right.
justice. Wait! Today's video is sponsored by Fume, the leaders in flavored air.
Did I just predict that? Hey, by the way, there's an ad. How did I predict that?
Breaking bad habits can be hard.
Ew!
Why don't you let Fume help? Fume is not a vape, it's not an e-cig, it's just flavored air, which means you can use Fume to level up your experience. Click the link, tryfume.com. This isn't the only anger-inducing part of the game. In RuneScape, there are many ways to screw over other players. So let's
The
talk about some of the
scamming.
classics. We wanted to set up how people get frustrated because now we're going to slowly dive into some of the ways that we're taking the meter and just kind of going. We're going with it, right? Sometimes we just start immediately with like a baby death and we have nowhere to go. So I'm ramping it up for you. RuneScape scams, guys. Which one is price manipulation, aka the RuneScape pump and dumps of the time. You think that these people doing Bitcoin and crypto and pump and dumps work? I mean, this shit's been happening in RuneScape since the dawn of time, dude. People would artificially raise the price of an item in the Grand Exchange, which is the in-game trading system. That's the one I was telling you. It's a panic attack,
my
whatever,
gosh.
just to sell them off and make a massive profit in-game gold. Not even in real life gold, maybe sometimes, because you can trade stuff, or there's transactional stuff where it's like, I'll buy gold off you. But this is just people being like, look at my digital gold. And you can also go to another scam was begging, because in
The actual money.
RuneScape, beggars are simply low-level players that pester others for gold and items. Some are more experienced and will dress and act in ways that make people feel enough pity to willingly give them better items. I just want to say dress in-game. And I don't know if psychologically they're just like, look at her. I feel bad.
Oh,
my
yeah,
basics
yeah.
Yeah.
at their
When this
armor?
fails, beggars will follow high-level players and constantly harass them until they leave the world or give them something just to end the confrontation.
I'll
used to
get into
beg
the wilderness
WoW
so I
at the
can murder them.
Crossroads. Never worked.
I don't know. What would you beg for? Is it just gold? What would you get with the gold?
I needed gold to pay for my mount.
Can you just do quests for gold?
Well, back in the day, it was, I don't know, maybe I just sucked, but it was
Got
hard to
done
get
begging
gold.
84
I could see you
copper.
being a person where it's very much just like, I don't want to have to do the quest. I just want to, can someone just give me gold so I can get my pony? Another scam
should add
was armor trimming. Inexperienced players are unaware that you can just trim any armor set you want to add
Should add mounts in
decorations
this
to it.
game. Go
Because of this,
faster.
people will offer free armor trimming to low-level players and trick them into handing over valuable armor for this service. As soon as they receive it, they log out the game and you won't see that ever again. Shit happens.
That's
Or
why
we
I
can
never
talk
trust
about the double
anyone.
money scam, a type of trust trade in which players claim that they will double your money by exploiting a supposed glitch. The new player gives them gold, only to soon be traded twice that amount. After the victim buys into the scam, he trades a ton more money, only for the scammer to log off. It's a classic bit.
I put in 811k, and I got his 4.3 mil, and he has no idea that he just got scammed. I mean, yay, and he's gonna say again, can you double me again? Because this guy is an idiot.
Total, I'm
my
telling you, these
God.
are sociopaths being made, and these are children doing it. Kids are smart, dude. They're devious little aren't they? Jesus Christ.
Starting off early.
Or we could talk about free membership scams. Experienced
wouldn't accept
players
your
will trick
bronze
people into
armor?
thinking that if they give their login
Rude.
credentials, they'll buy them a free RuneScape paid membership. And as soon as they buy into this, they get their account stolen. Throughout RuneScape's long history, there have been infamous groups and events that have cemented itself in the gamer's lore. One of the most well-known
Cool.
examples is undoubtedly the Falador massacre. I like this, dude.
Massacre?
I like how we could talk about RuneScape in the same way that you could talk about American history, like medieval history or something. Like it's like the Boston Tea Party or the Boston Massacre, that kind of thing. This took place in June of 2006, and it all began after a player named Cursed You became the first person to level up his construction skill to level 99. To celebrate, people started flooding into a large home to congratulate him and party. From here, something strange and unheard of occurred. Because there were approximately 800 people in his home, the game started to lag aggressively. It got to the point where Cursed You had no choice but to kick everyone out of the house. Everyone was ejected and sent back into Falador, a city that is considered a safe zone where PvP is not possible. Somehow, due to a bug, players that were thrown out of the house could engage in PvP with any player in Falador. Oh my god! This resulted in a massacre where players began abusing the bug to take out as many people as they could and steal their valuable loot. Because people thought they were safe for the celebration, many had incredibly valuable items equipped
How'd
at the
they
time.
get out
And
of
at
it?
one point, a player had lost one of their party hats in the carnage, an exclusive item from 2001 event that later became one of the most rare and most valuable items in the game. Some of these items are worth thousands of real life dollars, okay? Can you imagine it? He's like, that was my kid's tuition. Out the door! My retirement was a goddamn hat! In the end, the bug was fixed, but there was little that they could do to return people's lost items. Rolling back the game would affect too many people that were
I'd
not
be
affected
so
by
mad.
the carnage. It's awesome. Literally reads like a piece of like, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got kicked out of a party and everyone got
I kicked you out of a party and they all got mad and just started murdering.
drunk and killed each other.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh my god, kick him out. People, the guy's house party goes too crazy, kicks him out, and everyone goes into a town and just murders everyone. I will say that people, I bet you anything, the guy first got to get to level 99 construction skill, and the people that were like murdered in that, I bet you they still talk about it to this day. I bet you that's a deep wound. Seems stupid.
mean,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? His
I
car's
would.
wrecked and he like has perspective though. He's like, it's okay.
Once in a
I've been
lifetime
through
event.
worse. That kind of thing. And not all historic moments in RuneScape were as negative as the Falador massacre. In fact, some were insanely wholesome, like the
Cabbage?
Order of Cabbage.
Yeah.
This is gay. Anytime I talk about positive stuff, I'm always just like, the Order of Cabbage, word. All right. The Order of Cabbage was a RuneScape cult that spawned from the mind of Black Bane, a user that decided to actively collect cabbages, an incredibly low value item. From 2003 to 2004, he had picked 100,000 cabbages and started noticing people joining in out of pure curiosity. Eventually, he created the Order of Cabbage, recruiting around 20 people and dressing up in identical robes as they continued picking in groups. Over time,
Cabbage
as the
cult?
cult became more publicly known, hundreds of people had joined them. Together, they would create organized cabbage picking patterns to clear fields as efficient as possible. The little diagram is so stupid.
Who made the
Not only that,
diagram?
but they even started an annual event called Help Help a Noob Day, in which members would give free armor to new players and help them around the game. Entire fan sites were created, as well as pieces of lore written out to explain the backstory of the cult, which became essentially their Bible. Now, 37, Backbane looks back on this time in his life and gives some takeaways from the whole experience, saying, quote,
Don't try to change the world. Start with making one small change in your life and commit to doing it every day.
Take a cabbage. Praise the cabbages!
I think he said that on his deathbed.
Did he die? Jesus Christ. It's almost like an Abe Lincoln quote or some shit. It's like after he got shot in the back of the head. That's it is very wholesome. Does that, you know what it kind of does though? It was just, this is stuff. I want to say this is a good thing. All that. But I just want to say too, I feel like if people heard that and they were like, we're trying to get in the game, they'd be like, help a noob day? What the f, dude? I mean, people things survive when it's hell. That's how games survive. That's how people get hooked in for the lulz. I don't know.
I wish they massacred the cabbage cult.
Yeah, now see, if the Falador massacre had the cabbage cult inside, that would have been, even more tragic because it's such a wholesome thing.
Crazy.
Peaceful monks being slaughtered.
Yeah, monks slaughtered in a monastery.
For you.
For many kids playing the game in their youth, Runescape was a major part of their social lives. And because of this, it's not uncommon for people to have had experience with Runescape romance.
Romance? Oh.
This is where I'm at, boy. This is what I like.
Here
I
we
had
go.
my own
Let's
friend.
see
I'm not gonna name it,
How do I
but
get a
he met
girlfriend?
his wife on an MMO RPG, one of my buddies, and they're still together this day, and they have 2 beautiful kids. How crazy is that? It was more common you think. Back then, too, I remember even back in the day, the whole thing was if you were a guy talking to someone, you're like, you realize you're getting scammed by a guy, right? You know what I mean? No one believed it. Nowadays, I feel like it'd be normal. If you're sitting there, oh, yeah, I met her online. I feel like it's way more normal than it used to be. And like in the early 2000s.
Buying girlfriend, yeah, there it
only
is.
like 2% of women playing video games back then.
Exactly. Angels. Saints. Many people have made posts reminiscing about how they met their first romantic partner in RuneScape, which ranged from short and innocent to an elaborate means to rob them of their gold. Regardless, people have long since used the game in order to meet women, to the point where there are even full-on guides that explain the methods of doing so. These guides cover the best locations to find women in the game, the proper fashionscape that will attract them, which is a term that refers to characters dressing in their fashion, and how to seduce women, right? These are other men, other guys in your category being like, trust me, this is what you're supposed to do, okay?
Yeah,
in most cases, however, the women players that the
sleeves.
players think that they're getting with are actually men in disguise who want your gold and valuable items. That's just the dawn of time. It is what it is. Catfishing is a big issue in online MMOs like this. According to one woman, she was 14. She was duped by a man that she was e-dating for a whole year. His name was Cody Jones, a supposed 16-year-old bad boy surfer from California that she was introduced to by her RuneScape clan, which is awesome. I love the idea of like one of those like sprites walking over and it's like, what's up, I'm Cody Jones. I love to surf. I'm from California. He was introduced to her as the little brother of their clan leader, John. They would become so close that after a year of dating, her mother let her fly to California to spend the day with him at Disneyland. And when she arrived, suddenly, Cody and members of his family, who were also in the guild, stopped responding to her. After a long stretch of radio silence, she received a text that read, "Hey Amanda, it's Jess. Cody's in the hospital. He tried to kill himself with a bottle of pills. He won't be around for a while."
Whoa.
I just want to say, poor little girl. Can you imagine? Mickey's just like, you want a picture? You want a picture, little girl? And she thinks she's like, Cody, what happened?
Just
A year
crying.
later, Cody explained that because he lied about his appearance, he felt ashamed and tried to take his own life. He told her that he was actually 3 years older than her, and both eventually agreed to meet up for real. He looked nothing like his photos. He appeared far older and had 2 hearing aids. She tried to see past his appearance, and they ended up kissing that night. The more time they spent together, the weirder things got. He would outright refuse to let her see his ID when she asked about it, which that's already bad. When you're 14 or 15, you're like, can I see your ID? To have that...
I want to make sure you already kind of lied to me. I want to make sure you are who you are saying now. Make sure the picture matches. Make sure the name matches. Because if it doesn't, that's a red flag and you should run. Run. Which you should probably already run. After the first lie.
No.
No.
I ate it. Or he'd be like, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Huh?
How old are you
We're
picturing?
sick.
Like, do you think receding hairline?
I'm picturing a guy in his early... early 40s that is like has had some genetic issues, whatever. So he's like maybe balding or the hearing, that kind of thing. I'm thinking early 40s. I'm putting my bets on early 40s. Eventually, she confronted him about it, only to find out that Cody was actually John, the clan leader, and was actually a 30-year-old man operating multiple fake accounts. He had lied to her for years.
She's 14?
Even forging hospital documents to trick her into thinking he'd attempted to take his own life. That's some like Catfish 101 type shit.
Arrest him! Call the cops!
Hey, I have this really cute friend I think that you'd be interested in if you want to talk to him. Yeah, definitely. Hey.
I'm John's bro, Cody.
I'm John's little brother, Cody. I'm young. And I'm bad. I feel bad, man. I feel bad for the little girl. And also, probably since then, once again, learning experience.
Yeah, the thing is, does the mom even go with the little girl? She's like, hey, 14-year-old, yeah, go meet this guy, this random guy that you never met online that you're dating, and just go meet at Disney World. You'll be fine. You'll be completely fine. Yeah, where's the karma cops? Where are they at? You thought I was 14 years old, but instead I'm an undercover cop. You're under arrest. Well, like, if I was a mother allowing my child to go fly to meet somebody that they've never met before, I would never do that. Let her go by herself. That's dangerous. Obviously, we're looking at a 30-year-old man talking to a 14. No.
Next time she's in a game and she sees like a dragon guy come up to her, she's probably just like, no.
Dragons.
She's like, I only play Madden now.
In the land of Earthrealm. Hello, potion seller. I am going into battle, and I want your strongest potions. My potions are too strong for you, traveler. Potion seller, I am telling you, I need your strongest potions. I'm going into battle. And I need your strongest potions. My strongest potions would kill you, traveler. You can't handle my strongest potions. You better go to a seller that sells weaker potions. Potion seller, what do I have to tell you to get your potions? Why won't you trust me with your strongest potions? Potion seller, I need them if I'm going to be successful in battle. My dear traveler, the only way I will sell you my potions is if you use code SPIT at checkout to save 10% off of your purchase. That is the only way. Then it shall be done. I will use code SPIT at checkout to save 10% off of my purchase. Thank you. And the traveler went and won their battle with the help of the amazing Gamer Subs.
Another thing that people reminisce about in regard to RuneScape romance is cyber sex.
What?
Some people have discussed innocent examples of cybering in RuneScape, like having one character stand on top of another for a few seconds, which is all the boys need. Yeah. Which this seems fairly harmless, right? Some people took things to the extreme, though, in an attempt to make it a large profit. It was revealed that RuneScape had an active cyber sex market, and one player noticed that a specific world in the game has a high population of characters soliciting cyber sex through Alton counts. I like how it's literally Shinjuku, Japan. It's just like a red district. So, like, I like how RuneScape has their own red light district. He claims that there are loads of female accounts who also use the game as means to sell graphic videos of themselves to other players for gold. Through conversations with other informed players, he discovered that there were entire clans filled with accounts that would trade insane amounts of gold for these services. And it gets much more dark considering the odds that minors are reaching out to these accounts and having actual conversations with people far, far older than them. Also, too,
What? What? I am deeply, this is just getting worse. I am deeply disturbed right now.
it's probably men. I would assume a lot of them are men getting just like videos off the internet and selling it in that kind of way, but still it's just like
Probably.
such a gross, weird role play behavior,
It
that
is
kind of
gross.
stuff. But I bet you anything, a fair amount of like of age people were just like, yeah, what else would you do? Would you spit on my back? Turn this character around, and the little text bubble pops up, and it's like a star spit star.
Don't say my name.
Believe it or not,
Don't say
there are
my
many
name!
cases of people committing crimes within RuneScape that have led to confrontations with the police
What?
in real life. I just want to clarify that. Yeah, I just want to make sure you didn't think that it was like little characters in the game like, halt! Joshua Brandon Palau was arrested at the age of 19 after making death threats against someone over RuneScape. At one point, he claimed that he would level his local high school in Mississippi and that he couldn't wait to, quote, blow brains out of skulls.
Probably shouldn't say that.
Some guy who goes to high school
There's
during the exchange and stuff still.
my name.
Transfer all my gold out. Transfer my gold. Days after, he was arrested by the FBI.
Oh my
and he pled
gosh.
guilty and was thrown in jail for 6 years. That's a hefty and I wonder if there's more elaborate if like it was a
So why are you in here? How long are you in here for? 6 years. So what are you in here for, kid, huh? Steal anything? Murder anyone? You know, kidnap anyone? RuneScape. RuneScape. Yeah, never threaten this kind of stuff ever. First of all, people take that seriously. Yeah, as we should. Never threaten anyone. Come on.
something where 6 years is just crazy. I just wonder how elaborate it got. If he just said those two things, they're just like, come with us. Who's joking? That kind of thing. Or did they sit there and they found some shit in his car? Or I don't know. You know? And this isn't the first arrest to happen because of RuneScape. In 2013, a 19-year-old Kyron Benham ran into trouble after scamming his friend out of his gold. They had both been arguing for some time, and Kyron decided to get back at him by sneaking onto his computer and stealing the gold that he had been collecting for 6 years in RuneScape. The next morning, he left the home after stealing 2 bottles of liquor. Surprisingly, things escalated to the point where Kyron was arrested and brought to court. Where the gold had no real-world value, he had still gained unauthorized access to a friend's computer and had stolen their property. As punishment, he was ordered to pay 116 euro.
How are you enjoying your digital currency that has actual no monetary value? Now you have to pay 116 euro, however much that is in US. I don't know. They have to pay actual money and then probably give it back, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of, wow. People go to this extreme, taking it from their friends. Like, it does have a value only if you black market sell it. Why does it have value? What? Accounts get banned for it? Yeah, you're selling stuff on the black market, but in-game currency for money? Okay. I don't know.
Or 135 bucks USD. But the judge would
Thank
just be
you.
like,
Thank you for telling me the conversion.
what is it? Yeah, he got on my computer, Your Honor. He saw all my pictures, my Microsoft Paint drawings, and he talked to my elf priest, and he took all my gold. My dragon armor, and my dragon armor. Especially 2013, he'd be like, I don't care. You're both gay. Order. You've both 6 years for being gay. Gold farming is the act of collecting large sums of in-game currency to then sell for real-world currency on secondhand markets. You go, you get a bunch of gold in-game, and then instead of having to work for it, you could be like, I'm just going to pay $5 for X amount of a bunch of gold. And that's how people farm that shit and make money off of it. For years, people have used this as a means to make consistent earnings. Because of this, there were cases of RuneScape bots flooding the game to mindlessly farm gold. RuneScape has long since established harsh rules against real-world trading. Because of this, they rushed to take action. I mean, it got so bad that up to 8,000 accounts were being banned weekly in 2007. The gold farming movement grew to a massive scale in areas like China to the point where the government had to officially ban the practice in 2009. I feel like I remember back in the day, like early days of eBay and stuff, I feel like I remember seeing like, oh, RuneScape gold, and you could buy stuff on eBay. Because I think you'd buy it and then they would like send you a link or a thing to where you could log in and get it.
that's safe.
There's something about the RuneScape 2007 era that has a chokehold on so many people. With one man even asking for advice on Reddit about whether or not he should leave his fiance of 8 years because she doesn't approve of him playing RuneScape endlessly. He's
OSRS is better than having a family. Yeah, leave her. Let her find someone better. Yeah, let her find someone better. Okay, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're just obsessed with video games, blah, 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 video games, blah, blah, blah. You're so distracted. No, people are just enjoying their games. However, people like this, however, do take it an extra several steps and where it controls their actual life. Don't let it get that far. Don't ever let it get that far.
States, and I quote, since COVID,
You're even
I'm starting to
thinking
think
about it.
OSRS is better than having a family. Awesome.
You're gonna go work too?
One man admits that during a 9-year prison sentence, he'd struggled intensely due to his inability to play RuneScape, which I can't see people being like, if you play games every day and then you take that from someone, it's gonna be like crack. It's gonna be like heroin. Stripping someone off heroin, start shaking and stuff. Like time would probably be so f***ed up. He thought about it every single day, even writing a novel from the point of view of his old account that he'd share with his prison buddies. Awesome.
Read this, guys.
This is right. This is Klondor. It's like,
With his prison buddies? Hey, I got chapter 2 for you today. Oh, thanks. Can't wait to read that.
that they're like, what the fuck? He's like, I see it in my dreams.
What it's like on the outside, boys.
Here's what it's like in heaven. The second he got out of prison, he immediately bought a membership to old school RuneScape. Quote, yeah, he bought the membership before I bought a steak or had sex. Awesome. RuneScape is a game that many people hold near and dear to their hearts, and it's easy to understand why people find themselves becoming so enamored with it. This game's been around for...
You're both in the wrong, someone indulging in the game to an unhealthy degree, and the fiance not approving of RuneScape to begin with. True. I should allow a little bit of gameplay. But now he's gone. It's too late for him to come back.
For 2 decades now. So there's copious amounts of deep lore and nostalgia that appeals to a wide variety of people. It's accessible, comforting, and one of the most dedicated communities of any game out there. So just want to say, if you're getting into RuneScape, go at it. I mean, it's proven that it's a good game. It's not the flashiest
It's a fun game.
But I will say, I feel like one of those instantly recognizable, you're either going to get hooked right away, or you're going to be like, this looks horrible.
The leveling system's very addictive. I'm gonna chop some wood.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, it's also kind of turn your brain off and like you could be chatting with friends. I don't know. It's a classic game. Haven't talked about it in a while. It was nice going down this road, but you know, don't gamble your life away and don't threaten to like school or some shit like that. You think you'll be all right. So until next time, guys, we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye bye.